On today's episode, he's run every single world's toughest mudder, and he wants to win this one. Tyler Nash.
This is the world's toughest podcast. Welcome to the world's toughest podcast, where we talk about any obstacle course race you'd like, as long as that's world's toughest mudder. Each week we talk to members of the WTM community and share stories of success and failure in the single greatest event in OCR. My name is Will Hicks, and this is the world's toughest podcast.
Welcome back to World's Toughest Podcast. My name is Will Hicks. Thank you for listening. This is episode number 101. So if you missed number 100, then you missed it, buddy. I'm just kidding. It's still on iTunes. You can go download it anytime you want. Forever. Even after I'm gone, and even after you're gone, those podcasts will still be up there. So, pretty cool. Well done, Amelia Boone. Episode 100. Today on our show, Tyler Nash. Tyler is one of the only men to run every single world's toughest mudder. And he is also the only man to run 50 miles at the 8-hour toughest mudder. We're going to talk more about him in a minute. Before we start, you can email me at willhicks@gmail.com. You can follow me on Twitter at @TheWillHicks. And you can follow the show on Instagram at World's Toughest Podcast. Remember, when you're on Instagram, look for the World's Toughest Podcast hashtag, and you will be able to find our social media team. These are members of the community that are posting about World's Toughest, posting about World's Toughest Mudder, World's Toughest Podcast, and sharing tips and tricks and what wetsuit they're bringing and what kind of gear they're bringing. Just if you have questions about World's Toughest, check out their accounts and shoot them questions. They're happy to answer your questions. That's at the World's Toughest Podcast hashtag. Don't forget about You're So Smart. If you email me at worldstoughestpodcast@gmail.com with So Smart WTM in the subject line, you can tell me who is going to win the race. Men and women, first, second, third place, individuals. Basically, pick the winners. Tell me who's on the podium. If you are correct, and if you pick all 6 podium spots correctly, you will win a free sticker. World's Toughest Podcast @gmail.com. So Smart WTM in the subject line. Speaking of free shoes, if you'd like to win a free pair of Merrell trail running shoes, and you should, you text the word tough to the number 22828. Totally free. Text the word tough to the number 22828. That will add you to our mailing list and enter you to win a free pair of Merrell Agility Peak Flex or Merrell All Out Crush 2.0s. I'm going to be running in the Agility Peak Flex, and I'm going to bring a pair of All Out Crush 2.0s as a backup in case my feet get all swollen and don't fit into the Agility Peak Flex anymore. I'm very excited about our new thing we announced last episode, the OCRreport.com. The OCRreport.com. If you enjoy World's Toughest Podcast, or Overcome and Run with Heather Bodie, or Obstacle Running Adventures with Mike and Caitlin, Mike Stefano and Caitlin Ritter, you should check out the OCRreport.com. It's just getting started. We're very excited about it. Check it out. Let us know what you think. Love your feedback. Email Heather, Mike, Caitlin, or myself. My email is willhicks@gmail.com, but we'd love to hear your feedback on that. We're working on it. We're making it big, making it awesome. Very excited. Tyler Nash is one of the only men to get 50 miles at the 8-hour toughest mudder. He is also one of the only people to have run every single world's toughest mudder since it began in 2011. Tyler just ran the Moab 240, which is a 240-mile race in Moab, Utah. We're going to talk about that a little bit. And he has grand plans for World's Toughest 2018. Tyler did not have a great World's Toughest 2017. And we talk about that in our interview. And, in the intro, we talk about, success and failure at the greatest event in OCR. And Tyler's real open that, his 2017 did not go the way he planned. And there's a lot that all of us can learn from people's, when they don't succeed. And it's not the ideal. And when they don't do when everything doesn't go the way they wanted to, the way they planned. So I really appreciate Tyler's honesty and his just kind of transparency. It's a really good talk. I really enjoy talking with Tyler Nash. It's time to talk with Tyler Nash. Let's go to the phones. Tyler Nash, thanks for joining the show.
What's up, Will?
Tyler, you just ran 240 miles last week. How do you feel?
I feel better than I thought. I feel after running that long, so I guess all that's left is now Worlds.
That was the Moab 240. Is that the longest you've ever run?
Yeah, by about 3 times. So, yeah, it was the longest.
What was the day after like?
Day after, I just slept really well. That's all. I mean, I felt pretty on a high. After that, your body's still kind of in, survival mode. It feels like. So, I don't know. I didn't really think too much about it. I just kind of carried on with the day and thought about being sore tomorrow. So,
would you ever do something like that again?
When I was running it, I said I wouldn't, but now it's like, all right, now it's done, and like everything else, now how fast can I do it? So I'm assuming I'll do another one just to see what I can do now that I know I can get that distance. If you do one with me, I'll do it with you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Definitely hold your breath and plan on it. You've run every single year of World's Toughest Mudder. What do you think about?
Yeah, and I've watched some too.
Yeah. What do you think about moving to Atlanta?
I'm excited. I was glad that they finally made a move. I think it was getting a little stagnant doing the same kind of course and everything, and I was hoping that it would go somewhere else for the last year or two. And Atlanta was a good course at the toughest, so if it's anything like that, I think it just brings a new dynamic, the dry heat. Now it's probably going to be super muddy and whatever grassy hills. We don't have a lot of grass over here in Vegas, so it'll change things,
That's a good point. Don't you live in Vegas or near Vegas?
Yeah, I'm in Boulder City. I'm about 30 minutes out, so I got that lizard skin, so it'll be nice to finally hit some humidity.
You're gonna have to fly. Well, I guess you flew to New Jersey, but you're gonna have to fly again. What do you think of
that? Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just gonna bring a couple duffel bags. First year I think I brought like 3 suitcases, a suitcase, and didn't have any idea what to do. And then the next year I bought 3 wetsuits and overbought, and now I'm kind of dialed in, so I kind of know what I need and don't need. So it won't be that bad, just throw it in the bag and go.
You mentioned that toughest mudder last year in Atlanta. You ran the course. What do you think of the venue?
Yeah. I liked it. I thought it was a really cool venue. I'd never been to, Atlanta or Georgia. Shout out to Waffle House. That was really good. But I think that, the grass and the hills, it's a good course, and I think it's fun. I think I really enjoyed the atmosphere there, when you're in the pits and everything. So I'm excited. I think it'll be a cool hangout.
What are your goals or plans for this year?
You know what? I didn't really know what I was going to try to get. And, doing that, that Moab race kind of got my head all over the place. And now I'm, I don't know. I've got my expectations that are kind of high, but I just want to see what I can do, which I think is going to be a lot. So I'm not too worried. You kind of hit I'm going to hit my stride and not blow up like last year. So.
There's a quote that says that the human mind, once stretched, can never regain its previous dimensions. Like once you've
100%.
What do you think about that? Like after running 240 miles, your best year at World's Toughest was 70 miles. What do you think about? Yeah. What do you think about World's Toughest after that?
Like doing Worlds, World's Toughest Mudder was like my first race, so 24 hours. You kind of trying to wrap your head around that, and that's always like the mountain you're trying to hit, the 24 hours. And then, I never stayed up past that doing a race. And then, you do Moab and you're up for close to 40 hours and you just realize wow, 24 hours is more than capable. I never knew if I could hit that. And then when you kind of break through all those walls, everything else seems easy. Imagine, if your first race is a marathon, a 5K is going to be nothing after that. But if you start at a 5K, it's going to seem like, an eternity, it's almost unfathomable. But when you just do that, it just kind of makes everything a piece of cake, I guess.
What would you say to somebody who's maybe they're scared of World's Toughest? They've never run 24 hours before. They're signed up, they're coming, but they're scared.
You just have to sign up and go, because even for that, my last race, I wasn't ready. I wasn't trained or whatever like that, 6 weeks out. And you could be 6 months out. If you've never done a long race, you're never going to be ready for it. You have to just sign up, like whatever you got to do to sign up, go to the bar, drink a bunch of caffeine, get excited, get your credit card out and just buy it, because you're not going to be ready until you go there. And then you just realize, like, wow, I can do this, like you'll just blow your mind, just sign up and go. Like, stop thinking. Like, you'll find out that you're badass. Like, I've got, like, all my cousins, every one of our foot races were World's Toughest Mudder. Like, everyone's first foot race was World's Toughest Mudder. And now, you just have to do it. You're never going to be ready.
I like to say, commit before you're ready, then get ready.
Yeah, exactly. Fear is the greatest motivator, Get nervous, I've always, like, thought about training, for a race that I'm not signed up for. And it's not the same. When you sign up for a race, the motivation shows up. So, sign and pray, and then start training. There's no easy way to do it.
I used to think it was just the money. Like, if you got $500 on the table, like, well, I got to train now. Mm-hmm. But it's not. It's the commitment. It's, I want to be there, and I don't want to waste it. It's not just the money; it's the whole thing.
Yeah, you're like, how many opportunities do you? I'm always like, whenever I'm doing a race like those, like Worlds or anything, it's like, how many opportunities in my life or in a year are you going to be able to feel like that or do something like that? You make the most of it. Like, I sat in the chair for a while last year, and I kind of bitched out, and you just kind of realize, like, wow, like I could have. Like, you don't get that chance to do it as much as you think. So just make the most of it. You'll never feel that way, So just go out and screw it. Just go for it. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to heal up in a week anyway.
Can you talk about last year? The pain of regret. What happened last year?
Yeah. Last year I had really big goals, and I was planning on getting 110 miles. That was the only thing on my mind. And, and I knew Atkins was going to get it. And I was like, well, this is what you got to do. It's not 100 miles. It's not 90 miles. Whether I could have done that or not, I'll never know. But, in my head, it's like, you gotta put yourself in a position to win. You got to put yourself in that position, that unknown, and just, you never know what you have until you go for it, and like, you always hear guys saying, like, I went out hard and then I held on, or you cracked, but you'll never know unless you try doing it, and you kind of, for not doing that distance or anything like that, I had to put myself in that position to hope that I can hold on, and that I couldn't, like, it's a humbling experience, and the only thing you can do is try again. Like, you go and then you try to hope that you can break through those walls, and last year I didn't, and it's not like I was going for 90 or something like that. It was like, to get 110, you can't miss. You got to be going for it the whole time. And, his experience paid off, and my hat goes off to him. But, just sometimes when you got to do something you've never done before, you got to put yourself in that position. You can't train for that. So, whatever.
Have you thought about this year? Do you think last year's disappointment will help you this year?
100%. Yeah. I mean, I almost I thought about that last race I did. Mile 55 was my hardest mile. You just go, man, like, what is going on? There's a lot more race left, and you just kind of have to keep going forward. Like, there's no easy way to get it. Like, you can't hold on to it. You got to prove yourself wrong. You kind of start, when you have a bad performance, you go, you're only as good as your last race. Like, what are you going to do now? And you got to make up for it somehow. And sometimes you got to go out and run 240 miles to make yourself feel good.
So at 3 a.m. at World's Toughest, when you're talking about that hard mile, the 55th mile, at 3 a.m, when everything's telling you to quit and you got a warm sleeping bag back in your tent, what do you tell yourself to keep going? You
got to find more. You're stronger than this. This is when the average guy quits. This is when, and I'm guilty of it. I couldn't find it last year, but when I do, you just realize, like, this is when people quit, like when there's a windstorm in the middle of the night, at 2:00, whatever in the morning, this is when people quit, and then if I can make this is going to be even better story. I can do anything after this one, even if you're just trying to get 25 miles at World, like my sister, she did a marathon last year at World. It was the first race, and she's like, you got to punch through your barriers. Like, there's no easy way, but it's always going to be worth it. Every time you go out is going to be more better than if you went in. I've got family members that do it, and they sit down with like 2 hours ago, and they always regret it. It's like, you got to keep going. Like, that last lap means more. That 5 more miles is always better than the mileage that you have. Like, you got more left in you. It's just go. You'll find a lot of accomplishment by just going out again. Just hit that line one more time. You'll find out it's better.
And you know what? There's always a good reason to quit. Like, I have a little injury,
Everybody's got a
it might be,
reason.
they might be good reasons, right? But you can't
Great
listen to
reasons.
them.
Great reasons, and everybody is going to believe you. But it's not. I think it's not right, though. Like, every time I've told somebody the reason why I stopped, I'm lying to you, because I know that I could have gone. Like, last year, I had a million reasons, and I was telling people, and they go, "Oh, that's too bad, yada, yada, yada." It's like, no, but I could have kept going, like, save it, you could have gone more. I don't care, there's guys, and my last race, there's guys in aid stations that are quitting, and they have a perfectly viable reason to quit. And there's a guy next to him that's 10 times worse, and he finds a way to keep going. You're just not, and it's fine to have that. And, and you hit your barrier. You might have broke through 10 walls to get to that, to get to where you finally quit. But you could still do more. You're just not there in your head yet. You got to get your head right to know that it's okay and I can keep going. This isn't my time to quit. There's always more every time.
Talking about someone with 10 times more reasons to quit, there's going to be people out there in wheelchairs. I talked to a little person last week. She's 4'5". She's going to be out there. There's a guy who's 285 pounds who's going to be running it.
Yes. So save your excuses. Save your blisters story for somebody else. These guys don't care. They don't care. Try telling, I always think it's like, try telling somebody like that, that's overcoming in a wheelchair, why you quit. They don't want to hear it. They're like, oh, okay, that's great. They'll be nice to you and stuff. But everybody knows that, that you didn't, you could have gone more. You just didn't. And that's okay. But don't lie about it. You always can do more.
Tyler, do you have any,
including
truth?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you have any sponsors or anything you want to plug?
No, I'm still waiting for your contract. You said I was going to be your first. What's up? I ain't get no Morel shoes. You got your name on boxes, and I can't even get a sticker from you. What's going on? What am I going to have to call Matt B. Davis? Not going to happen.
Tyler, after we're done talking, I will get your mailing address. I will send you a sticker.
Thank you. Goodness. Yeah, draw one up on a piece of paper and put some tape in it. Do something. I'm dying over here.
Tyler, how can people follow you on social media?
You can find me on Facebook, Tyler Nash, or Instagram, Nash D Way. And that's about it. Or my MySpace, hit me up there.
What's your MySpace, Tyler?
I don't remember. Probably something stupid. I can't remember. If you find it, let me know. I'd like to see it.
How's your Zynga account doing?
Zynga? I don't know. I don't have a Palm Pilot. Is that what you do on it? I didn't know what that is.
If people can't find you on Friendster, how should they find you?
I don't know. Check the yellow pages.
Tyler, any last thoughts on World's Toughest Mudder?
No, I'm excited to give it all. Let's see what it gets.
Tyler Nash, thanks much.
Thanks a lot, Will.
Special thanks to Tyler Nash for appearing in this episode. Well done, Tyler. Come back anytime. Tyler, you should go wait by your mailbox for your World's Toughest Podcast sponsorship packet. It's on the way. Everybody else, you should go to your Apple device and open the Purple Podcast app. Search for World's Toughest Podcast. Scroll down and click Write a Review. I would covet a customer review from you, a listener review. What do you like about the show? What do you hate? What do you think of Elite Week as it rolls on? I have so much more Elite Week, I promise you. You better get caught up now because they're coming fast and furious very soon. We'll talk with you soon. Go spend time with someone you love. So good, Tyler.
That was fun, Will. It's always fun talking with you.
All right, give me your mailing address.